Oh, oh. Here we are. We are here. Yes, indeed. So much to talk about today, Jesus. So much.
Good morning. Good morning, love. It's my favorite love song. I love it all night long. Good morning. Good morning.
Spiritually speaking, ancient wisdom teaches us arrows show directions, horizontal lines represent death, circles represent completeness and vision, vertical lines represent life. Spiritually speaking, we can begin to uncover the spiritual nature of our attribute. The word begins with the letter B. The letter is made of two circles, one above the other, and one vertical line. These circles teaches us of the wholeness of life. The lower circle represents the lower world of thoughts, like materialism and physical pleasures. The upper circles relate to the higher levels of thought, like spiritual and metaphysical thinking. This is our mental vision, to have thoughts that flow from man lower to God higher, and to try to interpret the lessons from God higher down to man lower. The vertical line makes this vision living. It's with us every day, helping us to seek the truth of God and man. The next letter is the letter L, made of two lines, one horizontal, one vertical. It teaches us that life is connected to death and gives us a point of reference to grow in knowledge and wisdom. The knowledge of life, what we know to be true, and the wisdom of death, what we intuit to be true. The next letter is A. This shape is merely an arrow pointing up, showing us the direction that we must travel on our spiritual journey called life. Z. The letter Z is formed of two arrows pointing in opposite directions. It teaches us the scope of knowledge from east to west. In mathematics, these arrows represent greater than and less than. We see this as man's place in the Creator's universe. Man is greater than nothing, but also man is less than nothing. Essentially, man is equal to all. Lastly, we have the letter E, made of four lines, three horizontal and one vertical. These lines represent the four great teachers of faith from the Holy Bible. The first horizontal line represents Noah, a man who heard the word of God and submitted. The second horizontal line represents Abraham, a man who heard the word of God and submitted. The third horizontal line is for Moses, a man who heard the word of God and submitted. All three of these men, times for teaching has passed. That's why they are represented by the horizontal lines. The one vertical line represents teachings that still are living today. Those of Jesus, a man who heard the word of God and submitted. Spiritually speaking, the word blaze, the element fire, is representative of wisdom, gives light, gives warmth, shows knowledge. Our lives are dedicated to these concepts, and we have faith. The Creator will give us the words and the melodies by which we humbly submit to the universe and the Creator's people, ultimately back to God, spiritually speaking.
I forgot how long that was. What's happening, kids? So last night was the Josh Milan situation. I have to call it situation because that's what it is. It was a situation, honey. I need to tell you what I need to tell you. I'm going to play these tunes. We're going to have conversation. I actually started pulling a bunch of other female vocalists last week. And so most of the friends for today will be those artists that I pull, like Stephanie Cook, Lady Alma, a few other folks, including, we got a few people I'm going to play today. So we're going to jump this right off. So it'll be mostly, I'm thinking it'll be mostly up-tempo, and we'll see what happens in terms of blending. Not running out of content. I think that I'm really, really kind of focused. I didn't play this last week. I didn't play it at all because I just found it. We're going to play this and then we'll continue. It's going to be interesting.
I know you're looking for someone or something you think will never come. I know there's stress in your life for sure, but I know that you will overcome. Special, you are looking for love, but it's not far. If you could see what I see, girlfriend, you'll know you are special. Patience, you taught me how to trust. Our sisterly bond is worth more than gold. So I think there's something you should know. Special, you are priceless to me. You are by far. Don't let no one take your light that shines. Remember that you are special. You are special. So special. So special.
No jokes, I'm not playing. Back in the days, I'm 8 now, making a tape now, pushing a big joint from down south.
You know where I got it from. Da 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 da. That's why I said it was gonna be interesting. We are here. I am here. I'm getting set up. I'm kind of slow moving today. As you know, I was late. All that does not matter. Good morning, Douglas Kerr. How are you? My beat. This is real. I could almost talk through the entire situation today. I really could I think, girl, I'm trying to hold my peace, Jesus. I'm trying to hold my peace. Good morning. Good morning to my people. I'm going to play some of this Josh Milan, and I'm going to tell you that I was very disappointed. And maybe it's because, because I don't know if you know, but I'm not on Facebook that much. I'm not. And maybe I missed the memo. I must have missed the memo that said that there would be, don't be hating, girl. I should have stayed home with you. That's how I feel right now. I could have stayed. I'm glad. This is the first time this year that I didn't pay. And I'm glad that I did not pay. That's what I will say. And I'll continue in a minute.
It stays the same. Oh, sometimes desire fades away. My life, oh, sunshine, and in my heart, oh, is joy. ease my understanding. Yeah, yeah. I just want to live a happy life. Yes, there'll be good days and there'll be some bad days. So you can count on it. Yes. There's some ups and there's some downs, yes there are, yeah. I'm just glad I experienced life this way, yeah. Oh, and sometimes I'm made to cry, yeah, yeah. And then there are times that I just wanna laugh, laugh, laugh. Oh. Life is funny that way. Oh, but I've learned about love, love. And I'll do whatever it takes. No, I found out a long time ago. Oh, in this life, you gotta take it slow. Oh, and there's changes that we all must go through. Gotta have an understanding on what to do. You don't have to live in misery. Life is there to live for everybody to see. Oh, yeah. Life is just like love. Answers are there for you to see. Oh, life's like love. Sunshine and rain. Oh, yeah. Just like love. And my heart, is joy and pain. Just like
So this is what happens when you extract yourself from from Facebook. Like, I haven't been talking to anybody. I've been talking in the inbox, but based on all the research that I've done in terms of the addiction and stuff like that, everything becomes extremely hyper. There's a competitive energy that you have when we're on Facebook. You don't even realize that you're seeing things on your timeline, and it increases your need to post and boast and all these things. Like, there's a psychology. And I think what's happening with me is based on the idea that I haven't been doing a bunch of interacting with people and stuff. And so I'm going to try to scale it down. I haven't talked to y'all in a week. We got to catch up about things are happening for me that I haven't experienced before based on it. And, everybody's going to be different. If you don't spend a bunch of time in the social media world, then you don't have, you might not have this experience. And of course, because you're not me, you won't have this experience. So I'm going to try to calm down. Because if I could have went live last night from the car driving home, I had stand up for your ass. I had stand up. Like, I pretty much have stand up every time I go to Renaissance on Wednesday night in my head. And I don't share those things and I pray, I swear, because folk were walking up to me last night going, "What's wrong with you? Could you look any more?" And I could. And this was before I even knew that he wasn't going to sing. It was something was in me that was not feeling right, because folk were coming up and they're going, "Could you look any more interested?" It was something in that. And then someone came up and said, "So is he DJing or singing?" And I was like, I felt it. I was like, something is about to not be right about it. So what I'm doing today is, and I'm stalling because I could go in. I'm playing Blaze joints. And, because Blaze was producing together, they have production credits where you won't hear the vocals. And this is important because you get an opportunity to share some things that I don't think I've shared, because I haven't ever done a Blaze Josh Milan situation. But I'm trying to hold it so we'll have content throughout and you'll listen to the tunes. I'm trying, but I really want to go in. I do. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna drink some water. That's what I'm gonna do. Good morning, Terrence Stevenson. I gave you a pass on the tardy because I was tardy to the party too. Live and direct via Spreaker, Fathom DJ.
Like to shake it off. There's got to be a way. Elevate your mind into the twilight. If it's peace that you need, follow me. Let's elevate our mind into the twilight. Rest your head on my shoulder. Lay your troubles down. Rest your head on my shoulder. Lay your troubles down.
Yes, it is. Mark Clive Lowe is fabulous. He's been fabulous. Very inspiring tune that was. So we're doing what I'm doing today, if you don't already know, based on what I experienced last night. I'm doing some Josh Milan and Blaze Productions, so, because you know they produced for other people. The Force of Nature tune was produced by Blaze. I'm also doing Josh Milan as a vocalist. And I pulled a bunch of other women vocal tunes. And I have to say other because I don't want to just, I think if you listen to my work, then you'll know that I do play other women vocalists. And I just want to make sure that that point gets driven, because there are people who are going and discovering the Monique Bingham mix and not, looks like they're not listening to other things. So I don't want them to assume that I only play Monique Bingham. And because of the fact that I love her so, I wanted to, a while ago when I was doing Project Vibe, I was going to do a full vocal situation with other folk, female vocalists that I love. And so this is probably going to be considered a part of the study for that, because I don't know these tunes that I pulled. I just went and I pulled them and I haven't listened to them. So occasionally during this session, I'll mix if I feel inclined, but I'm going to be playing them mostly. Let me do this real quick. Chat. Yeah, so I'm still trying to be cool, because the more I talk about it, even in the inbox with other people who were there, the more I'm feeling like I might be mean and stuff, and I don't really want to be mean. I think that it was unfortunate. I think that the promo was very misleading for last night. They started. I should have. I guess I should have been a little more clued in, because when they were talking about the tickets were going to be $10, I was thinking a few things, and they announced that the tickets were going to be $10 during Monique's show, and I was thinking, oh, they're trying to give people a jump start so that the room will be more packed for him than Monique, and I expected the price to increase. I didn't buy a ticket. Why didn't I buy a ticket? I don't know, because, I was telling you guys that I was going to do that. I was going to buy tickets to support the artists that I really want to see and all that stuff. And I wanted to make sure to increase the sales so that they know that those types of people need to be brought into the venue. I didn't do any of those things this time. And that probably should have been an indicator that I shouldn't have been there. Ron Carroll's set is always the same. And I don't give a shit what you think about that. He kind of asked me to play with him outside after, and I play, meaning spin, because, I can give you dirt. I'm not trying to do that. This is not going to turn into the Wendy Williams of House show. But Ron does what he does weekly. He does. And when I was standing there talking, we were talking about a bunch of things as it pertains to Facebook Live. You could tell that he's trying to figure out what he needs to do to bring people in there in his mind, because he threw out a bunch of terms, and I was like, this is a money chase, and I know it's a money chase. Yes, Don was in the building. Don is a Chicago photographer and artist. I thought he was going to sing. And just before he decided not to sing, that decision was made early. And for, you know what? I'm going to play another tune. Because I'm about to go in. I'm going to play another tune and get my life together. I'm going to play this Blaze Imprint. Now, see, this is where it gets challenging, because I can't remember if Blaze Imprints was associated with them. I'm I'm gonna play this Blaze mix of one of my favorite tunes, and we're gonna continue the conversation. I think a lot of us thought that he was gonna sing. I should have thought about the setup of the DJ, because the DJ setup is normally over to the side a little bit when they're gonna have vocalists, and it was in the middle. I didn't clock that because there was so much action in the room. Let's continue. Woo! And we are only at the first 40 minutes. Okay, we're not doing bad because house music is long, and I'm intending to play the entire tune.
I want you to get together.
I want you to get together. It's a bunch of things.
I want you to get together.
I hope I can remember them so
Put your
that we can talk about it.
hands together one time.
Don, you spoiling it. Hold that. You're not spoiling it. You're only adding fuel to my fire.
I want you to get together. I want you to get together. Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. Put your hands together one time.
Cook, and you're listening to the Soul Candy Radio Show.
That was funny. Again, I haven't listened to some of these tunes, so this is the opportunity for me to kind of delve into them as well. You'll excuse the drops, please.
just think about it, yeah. What we need is a little more. Say it. What we need is a little more. What we need is a little more. Watching children play, chase the ills of life away, sharing in all their joy and laughter makes my world turn faster. Each and every day we must spread a little hope and faith, and let the smile in your soul shine on your face. And I'm saying what we need is a little more. Oh, sweet love needs more love. Sweet love, sweet love needs a little more. Oh, love, everybody needs a little more. Yeah, yeah. Spread it. All we need to do is spread love, y'all. Watching children play, chase all the ills of life away, sharing in all their joy and laughter makes my world turn faster. Yeah. What we need is a little more love, 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 yeah. Yeah. What we need is a little more. Oh, yeah. What we need, gotta spread a little more love. What we need is a little more love. Sing it, y'all. Sing it, everybody. Need is a little more. All we need is a little more. Everybody across needs a little more love. Everybody all over the world needs a little more. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Needs a little more love. Sing, yeah. What we need is a little more love. A little more love, yeah. What we need is a little more love, yeah. Sing it, y'all, yeah. What we need is a little more. Everybody, yeah. All across the world need a little more love. Yeah. What we need is a little more. We gotta spread love, love, love. We gotta spread love, 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 love. We gotta spread love, 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 love. Gotta spread love, 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 love. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What we need is a little more love. Help me sing it, y'all. A little more love, love, love. Love, love, love.
I'm replaying all of the energy that I felt last night. I'm trying to organize my thoughts. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say who, because we don't know who's listening, and I most certainly am grown enough to take the hit. But we also want to make sure that there is an app for this, Don. Yeah, and you'll, if you go to Spreaker, I don't know what kind of phone you have, you'll discover it. I don't want to take the hit for this, but there are a few things that I understood as it pertains to DJing early in my tenure. And one of the things that I learned as a DJ in my tenure early in the game was that you don't play the music that the artist who you're opening for could potentially end up performing. And maybe, just maybe, that was one of the indicators that Josh Milan wasn't going to be singing, that he was going to spin, because when I heard the intro to this song, which is one of my favorites that I'm going to play, I was like, why is he doing this? Did he not check in with the man? Did he not know that this dude was supposed to be performing? I was all in my feelings about it. I was just like, this is all wrong. I'm sorry. One of the things that comes with being in Chicago, and unfortunately, I have to say, oh, Don, I'm gonna need you to stop communicating with me right now because I'm on the air. It's just you just gotta wait for it. That's what you gotta do. I'm overwhelmed. So if Lauryn Hill if I'm opening for Lauryn Hill, you just shouldn't play any Lauryn Hill at all. You shouldn't, because you don't know where she's going to take you in her set. I'm standing there, this song comes on, and I'm going, if this is not the instrumental, you're really pushing it. You're pushing it, sir. And I'm looking at some comrades. I have a section that's starting to become overtaken. I would call it the not so cool section, but the not so cool section is starting to get real cool. And I think it's because people are working their way out of the room. So many thoughts from last night. It was a circus. We like circuses. Facebook is a circus. We like the clowns. We like the rings. We like the commentators. We like that. So I would assume that people like this in the real world too. Somebody should have been asking for some money back. I don't care how little it was, because I don't think that it's fair. And I'm not dissing any of the promoters. I am from Chicago. There is a little bit, we are harshly critical. There's a little bit of hatred that most certainly comes along with that. Being a public persona in any capacity. And at this point, since Facebook is doing what it does and everybody is hoarding for attention, I didn't say whoring, but I could have said whoring for attention. We're all public personas. We all have public personalities and public pages, and we are looking for attention. I don't think that it's fair to charge people without giving them the right information. That's just me. I know that there's manipulation that goes into sales. I know that people are doing whatever they think they can do to get people in the doors. They're trying to make returns on their investments in terms of bringing these artists here. That's one of the conversations that we most certainly could have, because I had a conversation with Josh Milan when I was DJing at the Shrine, and I'll just say that I was very surprised at how much he didn't want to be flown in to perform or something. And I guess that's where the details live, in terms of what his fee to DJ might be and what his fee to sing might be, and I'm sure they're different. But I think that because it's been at almost 10 years since I heard him DJ, it's also been and of course social media does what it does. You don't get to see everything that people do anymore. Then there's the idea that as a performer, that if he was DJing consistently, then we would probably know about it. So some of us didn't even know, as Don said, he hadn't ever seen him DJ or heard him DJ before. He didn't know that he DJ'd. So it was just a bunch of energy in the room. I got there early. It was a little more empty than I thought it should be. And we're going to continue the mission. I'm going to play the tune that I love so much of his, and we're going to continue this review of last night. It's funny. It's funny to me. It may not be funny to you. I'm different. I don't see things like you do. You can take what you want from the information I give you. But I wouldn't have anything to talk about if I didn't go, number one. So that's the thing about me. And number two, I learned so much from these spaces about people and places and things. I could just interview everybody. I could have just pulled out my phone and just started spreakering everybody about what they thought about last night. We really are being very manipulated. That's what I will say, because if you were there under the assumption that the man was going to sing and he didn't sing, either you left, and some people slowly made their way out, and then there was other folks who were just like, we just gonna take what we could get. Some of the tunes that he played and the tracks that he played were not complete tracks. I had a problem with that. They weren't mastered. I had a problem with that. He got away with a lot because of who he is, which is celebrity isms. I have a problem with that. I had a problem. I am a critique. I have a critique. I'm a critic. It's a part of who I am. I think things, I don't share them. And that's okay. When I do share,
how beautiful life
look
can
out.
be, searching for its true meaning. How long will the journey last? Walking down God's path. Sun lights the way by day. The moon guides our steps at night. And when we reach the final end, we find it's about to begin.
I love this tune. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And on the heels of saying we cannot live in the past, you most certainly have to recall the memories of when this song about last night. Did you go as a fan or a talent scout? I'm sorry, Douglas. I cannot separate the two. I'm not a fan. I don't like that word. I'm a supporter. And a supporter means what? Supporter means that I probably am extending myself differently for the talent. And I've extended myself as I have a, not that a fan isn't going to buy your music. A fan is probably going to get caught up in all of the hype and all that you do and not separate the bullshit from the good shit. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to be wooed by anyone who doesn't strike a chord with me. That's what a fan is to me. I'm sorry that it may come off negative, but I have problems with people who cannot articulate why they do or don't like things. And Facebook has shown us that we're full of people who don't have really valid, vested, strong reasons for liking or disliking things. I'm not one of those people. It's part of the reason why I'm not so involved these days. On that note, I'm always scouting for talent. I'm always critiquing. I'm always dissecting. It's one of the things that I unfortunately hardly ever can turn off in my entire life. I'm always trying to figure out how things work. I'm always trying to figure out how things can be improved. It's tiring. And that's another reason why I am not so involved in Facebook, because I have all these ideas and possibilities and things that come to the forefront of my mind when I listen, look, and think about things. And so that's where my mind works itself. So I go for all purposes. I love the energy of Blaze. I miss them as a unit. Having said that, when I found out that Josh was DJing, I was like, well, you have a DJ partner, but they're not partners anymore. And I don't know the story behind it. I heard things. I'm not going to say the things that I heard because I don't know if they're truthful. It's part of the reason why I also have decided to extract myself a bit from Facebook, because I can't separate the truth from the junk. I don't know where these sources are coming from or what people are saying. What I can tell you about my opinion is that it comes from a place of myself, and I stand on myself. I stand on everything that I say. I stand on everything I do, and I try my best not to bullshit people. Having said that, what I will say to you is that last night was bullshit. Sorry. It was bullshit. The whole thing was bullshit. It was bullshit at its finest. And bullshit and business at this point in the game are highly associated. If you ask them, the promoters, and it's a big hat to wear. It's a large order to fill to please people. And that's another reason why I'm not on Facebook so much, because I'm not in the business of pleasing people. I definitely want people to be happy with the work that I do. I'm sure promoters want people to be happy with whatever they give. Some people don't give a shit what you think. They're just like, give me your money, get in, take what we giving you, and get out. And part of you has to have that mentality about what you do, because if you have a firm reason for doing it, the sound may have cut out. I have no idea, but I can't hear myself through the app because I'm not listening from the app. What you missed, yeah, because I'm not going back. What I will say is I was disappointed, and there were a few other people, Terrence, who were disappointed because of the fact that Josh Milan did not sing at all. He DJ'd. I've also not done any of my live streams lately, my Facebook Live situations, and so this may be a bunch of that too. I'm trying to track where my energy is coming from because I'm updating you about a bunch of things at the same time. And in my mind, I'm going, I haven't talked or said anything, so I'm just full of conversation and stuff. Yeah, so I don't really think that it just really goes more into the point that everybody isn't supposed to DJ. It goes into the point that if I don't have the budget to bring you here, I'm not going to cheapen the experience. And we had that conversation. We did. We had that conversation as it pertains to Monique. Because I'm like, you know, the live PA situation is it works. It worked for what it was for. Somebody asked me outside, well, you know, since because I came outside and I was just like, I'm leaving, and everybody was like, yeah, we see. Why you leaving? And I'm like, because I was like, you know, I wanted to hear him sing. I like his singing. I like him as a vocalist and a musician, and he's not doing that. And so he's like, well, you know, you would have probably had to pay $50 for that. For Monique, I would have paid $50 for that. For him, I probably would have paid that much if they asked me to. Of course, I would have had expectations of what that would have included. I think it's a good idea before you purchase tickets to things that you get a better understanding. Of course, online, you can't get that. You're going to send emails and try to contact people. You can't get that here. You're going to get pushed to the side. Look, buy the ticket or move it along, buddy, basically. All I know is it was bullshit. I felt bullshit throughout. What I would have preferred, I have a critique. Yes, I do. I have an opinion. Yes, I do. What I would have preferred, and what I'm doing, interestingly enough, and at the end of this month on the 28th, Booze and Boogie is doing a Three Kings series. Three Kings. It's called Three Kings Salute. The reason why there's no S is because of the concept of Rasta, but it's not Rastafari. Three Kings Salute. I will be saluting the sounds of Louis Vega, Little Louis, and Osunlade for Memorial Day weekend. Of course, there are tons of things happening in Chicago that weekend because there's a house festival that's happening and a conference. Louis Vega, Ron Trent, Joe Classell, and somebody else are going to be at the Mid on Saturday. If what they could have done at Renaissance, to me, is they could have just done a tribute and had the DJs who spun before play all of his music, no different than kind of what I'm doing here, but blending. And he could have just came and signed autographs and stuff. Could have came and just signed autographs and passed out product and did a Q&A or something. Like, instead of having people believe that he was going to come and sing and perform, and then he did this DJ set, to me, Terrence, that was half-ass. It was half-ass. It was half, I'm different. You know that. I think you know that by now. I'm different. I'm standing there feeling like I'm watching Putting on the Hits. How old are we on this Throwback Thursday? Putting on the hits. I felt like this it was just the most hilarious thing I could have ever seen. Just all wrong to me. Like, they probably threw him in the back of Coach, like way in the back of Coach. He probably got here 3 hours before his set. Probably left 3 hours after. Tricked by the plugger. The plugger didn't do it. The plugger didn't do it. Plugger did not do that. They did it to the plugger and us. But like I said, I can't. Now putting on his. Yes, putting on his. Play some more tunes. Blaze was a part of this. This is gonna be horrible. Somebody, I bet you this one gets some hits.
We got to find a way. Spread love. Spread love. Rest alone. Teach one about love. We gotta make a change. Spread calling my brothers and sisters. There's a new day about to dawn. See, we gotta pull together and correct what is wrong. We can make a change for the future if we only start with one. Each one teach one about love. See, a new day has begun. And we gotta come together and spread love. Yes, we do. People of the world together, spread love. Spread love. We gotta come together and spread love. Yes, we do. People of the world together, spread love. Over in Africa, poppy, we gotta fight to cure disease. There's only one world for you and me. We gotta live in perfect harmony. Let's come together like a rainbow, many colors across the sky. With the laughter of the children, there is hope for you and I. See, we gotta come together and spread love. Yes, we do. People of the world together, spread love. Spread love. We gotta come together, spread love. People of the world together, spread love.
I'm gonna ponder about how to make this a positive note based on the song. I'm gonna turn all of my thoughts around.
People of the world together, spread love. Spread love. We gotta come together, spread love. Spread love. People of the world together,
One of my favorite current tunes by Louis and Josh Milan. We're gonna twist this on a positive. After I play this, I'm gonna feel better. Not that I feel bad, because I learned a lot of things. I learned from every experience. That's always a good thing, regardless. Yeah, I love the song. I love the song. So when I was listening to it, I was thinking about business. I was thinking about, of course, Louis Vega, because it's a Louis Vega song. Um, and Josh Milan is highly associated with little Louis Vega. And that's important to know. I'm thinking about business because those associations probably render opportunities, and they do render opportunities, and they render good paying opportunities. How do I say this? I appreciate you guys. I do. I appreciate you for several reasons. I'm a real person in the real world. I do real things. I have real opinions. I have real feelings. That needs to be said. And based on that, I think commercialization, I really never thought about the idea that underground house music particularly would end up becoming such a paper chase that we would employ the strategies and the concepts for doing that bigger businesses would employ. And I've been clearly in that machine because I'm brand and I market myself and I push for. I don't think there's anything wrong with having bigger goals and ambitions. I do feel like in everything that we do, we should put our best foot forward. Last night, to me, was not the best foot forward in terms of producing events and shows. Budget restraints create the concept for that. Then there's the idea of what you can get away with that people won't clock in order to produce those shows. We love music. We could be better about how we express that love of music and the byproducts that are created based on that music. We also could be better about how we want to be seen as associated with this music. If you've known me in any capacity for the last 4 years, whether it's directly or not, I've felt the theme of mediocrity as it pertains to social media. Less sometimes is more, but some of us are really, really working hard to do more in order to get more. And I do feel like DJing has become a mockery. I'm sorry, I have to say this because there are too many people doing it. It's too many people getting away with a bunch of bullshit as it pertains to doing it. It's a money grab. A small amount of money is considered a lot when you don't put any heart and soul into what you do. There was no heart and soul in what I saw performance-wise from Josh Milan last night. He was having fun. He's like, "Woo, I'm getting paid. I'm just standing up here kind of, sort of playing these tunes. Kind of, sort of doing this." The DJs who came before him are real DJs who really put their time and energy into their sets. And like I said earlier, I would have preferred, this is me, in my opinion, it means nothing, But I like when people think for themselves. I like when people can go into spaces and not get so caught up in the awe and the hype of things that they don't see the bottom lines and see how, their dollar is going, where it's going, and how it's being used and things of that nature. I want the best products on the market for myself. And that might not be a realistic thing based on the budget, but if I can bring you the vibe and the energy and have it be true, that's most certainly what I intend to do and what I always try to do, especially as it pertains to my own stuff. I go a little further. For Tantrum and Renaissance, it's not mine. Those spaces are not mine. I'm contracted to do those jobs. I do what I do to the best of my ability. I know my restraints and limits. When it comes to Booze and Boogie and it comes to Sunday's Affair, I push myself. I put a little more energy into those products and into those events based on a bunch of things. It's a little more time and planning involved. When I left last night, I left around 12:30. I was like, I got to get up out of here because I'm overwhelmed with nothingness. That's bad. My spirit was not fed. That's never a good thing for me. I tend not to go out to places because I want my spirit to be fed. And if I can't get that, I can do that at home alone. It was a joke to me. That was a joke. I want to trust you. I want to trust people who put out products and do events. I know you get so caught up in being liked and having people give you credit online that you forget about the work, the structure, and the energy that's involved in putting these things together. I have been associated with a few organizations and companies where these businesses are not even on Facebook. They're not, because they're so deeply interested in the real life product that they're more focused on doing that. You can go to those pages. You go to some of these corporations and companies who do big productions don't have any social media presence because they don't need it, because they have real life connections that require them to do real life things, and they're very focused. It's part of the reason why I'm not here in this world so much, because I'm trying to get my shit to the point that it's really, really good, that it resonates so much that I don't have to come in and talk about it. Just do it. Whatever it is that you're trying to do that. Social media is the aftermath of the product. If you're a real DJ, spend some real time with your music and not just in front of an audience. You're not doing yourself a favor by coming in and half-ass playing and just for the rush of the moment. If you're really, really vested in what you do, you're going to spend time with it beyond the cameras, beyond the photos, the notifications. You're really going to spend time crafting and putting energy into what you do. And then social media becomes the reward for after the work, not the reward for before and during the creation of these things. I'm sorry, y'all. It's on my heart. That was a joke. It was a joke. And for anybody who paid, the joke's on you. This is business. We have to require more. We have to be interested in doing a little more. You know, a fabulous flyer is one thing to put into the universe. The performance that goes behind it is what's going to last. What people think about the last thing that you did in the real world is going to last. If you don't know any better, then, one of the theories of the people who was there, who I talked to, is just like, and everybody gonna all be on Facebook talking about how fabulous tonight was, how dope he was, how. No. I don't know what y'all are seeing because I'm not interacting so much, so I'm not seeing that from my timeline. I'm not seeing any of that information on my timeline. When I do really good things, I would love for people to talk about it. If you don't talk about it and it's really good, as long as I feel really good about it, that's all that matters. If I don't do a really good job in Utah, mostly we're going to talk about not doing really good jobs because that's where the hype is. It's fine too. But I'm a real person and I require some real things. And like I said, does it make me feel differently about Josh Milan? No, it doesn't make me feel differently about him because he did what he did based on how much he was given. Does it make me feel differently about Chicago? I have felt differently about Chicago for a long time. Yep. Is anybody still with me that I bore you to sleep with my dissertation? That was called the Smoker's Church. And I'm excited about it. And that's all I'm going to say. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it and you'll find it when you find it. Where are we now? We're at the last hour, and this is Morning Love, and I'm your girl, Fathom DJ, live and direct. What will I say? You're with me, Terrence? Terrence Stevenson. I think if anybody appreciates the Smoker's Church, you will. So you get ready for that, because I'm sending it off today. What was I going to say? So during that almost 10-minute piece, music is supposed to be getting shorter because our attention span is now 6 seconds. That song is good for driving. It's probably good for smoking for those of you who smoke cigars. And that song has been in the making for a long time, and I'm giving it to the world today. Don't know where I'm giving it to the world, but I'm giving it to the world, and we just see what happens with it. I'm very proud of it. It's hard out here for a smoker. No. It's hard out here. I think it's harder when you let people into your world and you're trying to make art, and everybody has an opinion about it. Especially most folk who have an opinion, this is one of the things, the conclusions that I came to last night. Most of the people on Facebook have all these opinions for things that they're not doing. So if you think about Facebook in this way, it might help. Just like basketball. I think if I had to pick a sport, I used to play basketball. Basketball would be the sport that I'll pick for this reference. So how many people are on the floor playing the game? And how many people are sitting back, eating popcorn, looking at their phones, half-ass watching the game? Then something incredible happens and everybody has an opinion of it, or something horrible happens and everybody has an opinion of it. That's kind of what Facebook mimics. Are you on the court or are you in the bleachers? Now, some of us have VIP seats and we're sitting floor side. I've done that a few times. Sat behind the rim, on the side of the rim, and watched. It's an amazing space to be in. It's even more amazing to be on the floor playing. And there's so much that goes into it when you're on the floor, and there's so much that happens when you leave that floor. Should I apologize to Josh Milan for my harsh critique? No, because Josh is a player. Should I apologize to the NBA? Hell no. Because they're the reason why the game looks the way that it looks. Having said that, we're going to continue. Josh is a player. He's doing what he has to do. The DJs are the players. They're doing what they have to do. They're doing what they are paid to do. However much or however little they're being paid. The NBA and all of those folk who make that work are really where the change needs to happen. So the question is, can you be an owner? Or do you just get the luxury of simply purchasing a seat and spectating?
There's a world out there, and I choose you instead.
another one of my all-time favorites by Blaze.
can be found. You got it bad, girl. You got it bad, girl. You got it bad, girl. You don't know what's going on, baby. If you don't see there's no way out, just no way of getting around me. You got it bad, girl. Yeah. You got it bad, girl. You got it bad.
favorites.
Oh, yeah.
So we gonna wrap up this session.
Show your love right now.
Morning Love, live and direct via Spreaker every Thursday, normally at 9 a.m. I was late, so I ran over. Let me turn this off. What I'm going to say is I want to wish you the greatest weekend you can imagine. I was very critical today. I'm a critic. People will push forward. I'm learning to stop caring about what people think and say. And that's one of the things that I'm getting from having extracted myself from Facebook. I have to push forward in my process. People are going to talk. People are going to have observations, opinions. Some of them can be helpful. Some of them can be harmful. Like I said, I'm not going to apologize for anything I said. I do feel, though, that we taint the experience for people who simply want to have fun and love the music when we're overly opinionated. So should I feel bad? I don't know. I don't think I feel. For those of you who didn't make it, I think that you probably would have been a little disappointed as well. We make the best of everything based on what we're given, but the question is what do we accept? Having said that, I will be at Renaissance on Friday in the Bronzeville area, starting at 6 p.m. for the after work set. I will be at Tantrum on Saturday, starting at 9 p.m. For Risque Saturdays, and I most certainly will be at Bureau Bar. It is Mother's Day. We will start at 6 p.m. If you want to come through, bring your mama, have some cocktails. I'll be playing all your mama's music, which I normally end up doing anyway. But and that starts at 6 p.m. There are all no cover spots. I will be releasing The Smokers Church. Not on my Bandcamp page. We're taking this one to TrackSource, so it's going to take a couple weeks. I do have a couple other tunes that I might be able to squeeze out on my Bandcamp situation. In addition to the fact that Friday Night Africa is there. If you didn't get an opportunity to listen to Friday Night Africa, the Mother's Drums, you can do that. And I am off to the races. Cosmic kisses and well wishes to you and yours. This lovely Thursday, Throwback Thursday, grateful to be here with you. Grateful to experience and learn the things that I learned. If you want to hit me in the inbox on Messenger, you most certainly can do that for direct communication. I won't be popping up and posting much on my personal page. If you're not a friend on my Fathom DJ Soul page, it's facebook.com/Fathom DJ Soul. You should become a active member on that page, and that way you get to see what I'm doing that I think is necessary as I proceed to focus on music products, services, and the like, and try to not be so distracted with all the other things that are happening in this world that I wouldn't say they don't affect me, but I have to keep focused and keep pushing. Focus, Jedis, focus on the things that you love, and the things that you don't like will disappear, or at least somewhat. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Find FathomDJ.com.